This week, we get the consumer price index and the producer price index on Thursday and Friday, respectively, and these things could really substantially move the markets. Last week, we had really good jobs data, and we're going to go into some of that in this video. And we do see stocks continuing to march higher, and at the same time, we do see at the time of recording this video, gold is, giving back a little bit of its profits here recently. In today's video, I'm going to be going over things like the US dollar, gold, and indices to see where possible trading setups are forming, and I'll show you some of my current positioning as well. As we get started, I want to ask a favor. If you could hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new, it would really be super helpful to my YouTube channel, and I really appreciate it. So I want to start with the US dollar. On the daily chart, we do see the dollar looking like it wants to break higher. And this makes a lot of sense when we start to map out what actually got this dollar index to start moving like this. Last week, purchasing managers indicated that there is some good expectations for future growth in the economy. And we get that data from the services PMI data. And that shows us, based on an index or a survey response from many different important decision-making people in corporate America, specifically in the services world, they indicated that things like inventories and job hirings and sales expectations were looking on the up and up. And this does signal that the US economy going forward could look strong, and that is of course a bullish thing for the US dollar. At the same time, if we zoom in over here, we talked about this on Friday, but jobs data came in way better than expected for the month of September. I had to think about that for a second. Anyways, if we take a look at ADP also, we can see that the private payrolls world also looked pretty strong. An unemployment rate actually came down, which was, again, another positive signal for the state of the labor market and hence the US economy. Now, it is worth mentioning that we have an election right around the corner, and is there the possibility that the standing current administration is doing what they can to pump as much, kind of good stuff into the economy right before election? It's possible, and that is not a thing against the Biden administration or Republicans or Democrats. Every human being that has a position of power in a democracy wants to have people feeling good going into a upcoming voting situation. That being said, I don't necessarily think that this just means that the turn of the year is going to lead into a big crash in the economy. I think that there's actually some really good signals out there that the US economy is performing better than expected. And that is why I do think that the US dollar index trending to the upside here in the last week has the potential to continue. In fact, I'm looking for possible higher lows for possible continuation trades in favor of the US dollar. That brings me now to the EdgeFinder's top setups algorithm, which looks at all of the different economic data points like the ones that we just discussed and maps out bullish and bearish signals on each of our favorite charts. And I've filtered already for, if we zoom in over here, you can see I've removed the neutral readings from the EdgeFinder's top setups page. And now we get met with this kind of easy to look at watch list of ideas that I can potentially look for trading setups on. And what you'll notice is that the economic data is looking pretty blue for a lot of different USD things. And so, what we're starting to get is some stronger signals here for things like risk on assets like Bitcoin, the S&P 500, and oil. Notably, we also see some bearish readings coming in for gold and silver, because the stronger US dollar is, of course, not usually associated with stronger prices for gold and silver, because confidence in the labor market, confidence in the US economy can actually act against the metals, because again, people may not look for risk off safe haven assets when the US economy is looking stronger than expected. That being said, looking at the 4-hour price action chart for gold, we are still stuck in a range here in the context of what has been a roaring upward trend this year. So although the EdgeFinder is pointing possible bearish setups, I'm going to wait for price action to actually agree with that idea before I take any trades. What I'd specifically look for would be a breakout or a failure at this level of support around 2630, and then looking for possible opportunities to sell into that rally, as I think that the strong jobs data could mean that gold may, for at least for a few weeks or so, put in a high. Now, of course, this is a guess. This is an educated guess, and I could be totally wrong. Gold could fly through the highs if things in the Middle East continue to stay, strenuous. If anything positive comes out of the Middle East, it could very well cause gold to actually drop very hard. And here's a look at silver's price action as well, looking for possible breaks to the downside and just a reversal in this upward trend structure before I make any decisions. By the way, if you'd like to try the EdgeFinder for 30 days. There will be an application link down below in the description for you to check it out, see if it's right for you, and then of course, if you choose to, you can purchase it afterwards. I should mention that the trial period is a 30-day trial, and it is not a free trial. It is a paid 30-day period trial. We reserve this because, again, a real person from our team manages each one of the trials that is going on so that we can answer questions along the way, and we reserve this option for very serious traders. So if that is something you're interested in, you can apply down below, or you can also use the link in the description to chat directly with a member of our team if you have questions, want to pay with crypto, or you would just like to know some more information about the tool. Taking a look at the state of the stock market rally, we had a big, kind of run here recently with a bit of consolidation or a very slight pullback in the last week or so. That being said, today stocks are just very softly lower. They could be, moved a lot by the time you guys see this video, as I am filming this during the New York session, which can be volatile. That being said, what I'd be generally looking for on pullbacks would be a move back down to this 38.2% retracement, looking for continuation plays, or a break and retest on the S&P, as I am getting confirmation from the Edge Finder that setups are looking good for things like Bitcoin, Dow Jones, S&P, etc. Speaking of Dow Jones, we'll take a look at the US 30. So where I'm at with this is that if we do get a pullback, I'd be looking at the Dow Jones around 41,500. And if we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin seems to have found support around this 60,000 level. And what I'm looking for here on the daily chart is actually a breakout of this downward trend line structure. So if we get something like this, like a big break through the highs, it is possible in my view that we see a continued up move. Things are looking on the up and up for the US economy, and that does bode well for Bitcoin, especially if we do continue to see the Federal Reserve cut interest rates. That could be a very strong environment for Bitcoin, which basically goes up historically when things are Goldilocks, meaning things are really, really good and all is well, right? Which is a very rare, circumstance, but risk on typically does that. They typically, things that are very risky like Bitcoin or, high growth stocks, they typically do very well in environments where things are looking rosy, if you will. And I say that cautiously because there's always something to worry about in the financial markets. But right now, the core things that I look at are mostly pointing towards things looking okay for the coming weeks and months. The Russell's pulling back here a little bit here. I'm not too interested at these levels as I'm not getting a confirmation from my software here, but I'll keep an eye on the Russell as I do think that it could be a really big trade for 2025. And oil's up another 2% here. And this is one that I'd actually like to get involved in. If we get a pullback on the oil chart, I may look for possible long setups on this one, maybe around the 74, 73 zone. Could be an interesting opportunity. In my view, I think oil may have found for now a short-term low. We do see higher lows coming into this chart and breaking this downward trend line structure, which could signal, again, perhaps some upswing for oil in the coming weeks. Price is also buoyed, of course, by the situation in the Middle East, as during any sort of war conflicts, the price of oil typically does spike. Here's TLT. Bonds are actually trending lower here in the last few weeks, and that is off of the back of course, stronger than expected economic data out of the United States, which is the same reason, by the way, why the dollar index is up. Yields are up because, again, a stronger U.S. economy may signal that the Fed is not as interested in cutting rates as quickly, which is, of course, a bullish thing for the dollar, because again, less rate cuts bullish for the dollar, more rate cuts bearish for the dollar. That is typically how it goes. By the way, if you're interested in seeing the trades that I'm actually placing in real time, you can get notified every time I take a position with full breakdowns and explanations behind each and every trade. If that's something that you're interested in getting access to, down below in the description you can sign up for our VIP service or go to a1trading.com/VIP. And if you have any questions or want to pay with crypto or something like that, you can speak to a member of our support team, a real person, not a robot, using the first link in the description down below. If you're looking for a better brokerage, then stick around for a second. I'm going to tell you how you can get some free sign-up perks with great brokerages all around the world. Whether you trade FX or indices, commodities, futures, all of the above, I'm going to show you a really cool way that you can get free sign-up perks with your new account. So if you're interested in switching into a different brokerage, you can get things like deposit bonuses or free stock shares, or you can even get access to some of our products for completely free. All you have to do to find find out current perks being offered to new depositors is go to a1trading.com/brokers. That's a1trading.com/brokers. And as you look at that page, you'll see all these different offerings that we've currently locked down for you guys as subscribers, as viewers. Now, of course, we get something out of this. If you choose to use these links, you'll be supporting our page. But in return for the viewers, we've got great sign up perks available for you guys so that you get some free game just by signing up for a brokerage if you're looking to do so. So check it out on our website. You can find current deals at a1trading.com/brokers. Thanks for watching this video. And on the screen right now, you'll see some other options of other videos we put together that might be helpful to you in your trading career. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.